بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. First of all, my brothers who are here, sisters from home, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're at the final stages of Ramadan. But like I said to you the other day, that for the one who has value for Laylatul Qadr, for him every night is Laylatul Qadr. So after today, after Maghrib, we are going to still be in a way that we're going to continue with our a'mal and our actions, inshallah. I said to you yesterday that yesterday's talk was on Iblis taking an oath that he's going to lead us astray. I said to you that the plans of shaitan is weak. Allah said that. Plans of shaitan are weak, so there's nothing for us to be worried about. All we need to do is we need to do our a'mal and do what we need to do. And one of the main things, if you want to stay away from the traps of shaitan, if you want shaitan not to have any influence over you, not to be able to take you off the path, Allah has given that remedy in the Quran. When Iblis took that oath and he said, لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ, I'm going to lead astray every one of the progeny of Adam alayhi salam. When he made that vow, and he made it very strongly, I'm going to do my utmost best to do that. He added himself. He knew, because Iblis had hung around with the angels for so long. He picked up a lot of stuff. And he said, إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ, I'll be able to lead all of them astray, as many as I can, except for those servants of yours that have got ikhlas, they've got sincerity. Those who, mukhlasin means those who have given themselves to Allah, those who gave their time to Allah, those who have given their dedication to Allah. Mukhlasin means those people who do actions for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of people. There's one very deep secret, that if you can develop a thing to do a'mal and actions for Allah's sake, and people don't bother you, what does that mean? That means, and think about what I said yesterday, if I worship Allah because of Ramadan, then once Ramadan goes, then my worship is also going to go. If I worship Allah for Jum'ah, then once Jum'ah is gone, I'm going to be slightly, down. If I worshipped Allah because the crowds were there, because the people are getting together, everyone's having a buzz, everyone's getting together doing this, I'm going to do it. Then once the crowd is gone, I'm not going to do it. But if I did it for Allah's sake, then whatever I did in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, whatever I did in Ramadan, that should carry on after Ramadan, because I did it for Allah's sake. Yes, in Ramadan we increase our actions. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he increases the ibadah, that's fine. But there's a basic thing that I will do. That basic thing should be there in Ramadan and outside Ramadan. And that's the thing that's going to save you from shaitan, and that's going to be the thing that will bring you closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Now, I want you to make intention now, especially those who are in i'tikaf now. Because people who do i'tikaf, they usually don't do i'tikaf as a one-off. People who've got the sweetness of i'tikaf, they want to do i'tikaf every year. They want to do i'tikaf every year. Those of you who haven't done i'tikaf, you can make the intention of doing i'tikaf at least once. At least next day, make i'tikaf. But I want you to make the intention now. There's a reason why. Once I made the intention of going to Hajj. And one of the Masjid committee members, he asked me, he said, have you prepared for your Hajj? I said, what do you mean? He said, have you been walking, up and down? Are you physically okay? Have you been doing exercise? Not fit, because in Hajj you have to walk a lot. So I never thought of that. I never looked at Hajj as a physical fitness, that you need to be physically fit to do Hajj. So I said, I don't know about physical fitness, but I've been working on a little bit whatever I could do in terms of spiritual fitness. There's a physical fitness, there's a spiritual fitness. And the spiritual fitness is more important okay, and much more important than the physical fitness. Though we need the physical fitness as well. I'm not saying anybody should not physically prepare for Hajj. Now, I've noticed this. The satis that come along with you to Hajj, for example, there's some people who are gearing up, trying to learn their du'as and trying to get into a spiritual mode once they have got very close to their Hajj days. So what happens is that when they, when the actual days are coming, oh my God, okay, their mind is okay, let me go and get maafi of everybody, let me ask forgiveness from everybody, let me get my saman ready, is my luggage ready, is this ready, the flights are ready, the visa is ready, the this is ready, okay, injections, whatever they need, okay, all those things, they're preparing for that. Then the day comes when they have to do the flight, right? And then that day, when they get in the ihram together, then they're on the flight. Now, like Moli Sahib, what is it that we need to tell us the next dua we need to say, and tell us the next thing we need to say and do. And to be honest with you, most of those people, they haven't prepared for Hajj. They're doing everything you're saying, don't get me wrong. They're asking you every other way. What dua do we do now? How many tawafs do we do? What place to go to? They will follow all of it, but spiritually, they never prepared for this. So those people, what happens is they get into Hajj, they come there, and after a little while, they burn out. They burn out very quickly. Because if I told you right now, go and do 1 hour of the gym, I don't think any of us, except for a few, illa mashallah, they're ready for it. Because they've been going to the gym, right? Those who have been going to the gym, they're ready for it. But people like me, who, gym is like, for the guys who are in their 20s, you know what I'm saying? So if you take me to a gym and say do 1 hour, I'm going to be like, whoa, that is heavy. That's heavy for me. Now if you tell me, okay, fine, you done Melissa, you done 1 hour today, that's good. We'll see you tomorrow again. I'm like, Chaji, now what's going to happen to you tomorrow is this. Early in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to have pains in my body. In my body, I'm going to have pains, right? And anyone who's there in their body, they're going to have pain. Now, if I go to the gym again, that 1 hour is going to be like, Ya Allah. I'm going to do one. As soon as I get onto those machines, I'm going to feel it straight away. Now I'm going to be paying for the next week, 2 weeks. And if you take me there every day for an hour, I'm going to be like, forget this, man. It's enough. Kab khatam hoga. You know what I'm saying? When's it going to finish? I'm going to be looking at the time when it's going to finish because I'm in pain, bro. I'm not ready for this. Now, if you took me like that for a good 10 days, for a good 2 weeks, for a good 3 weeks, I do, okay, fine, I can see, okay, fine, I got a bit of shape or whatever, or lost a little bit of weight or whatever, I feel a little bit good about it, but you know what, it was a lot of pain I went through, right? Now, people who go to Hajj and who didn't prepare spiritually beforehand, all of them are the same. What is it? They're in Hajj. First they get the bus, they see the Kaaba, they see all of that, wow, and they're into all that, and then after that they burn out. Then it's pain. I'm being serious with you, it's pain. Pain of this discomfort. They haven't got the comfort of the beds, they haven't got the comfort of the foods, they haven't got the comfort of, whatever life they led before they came to Hajj. The mattress is not good, the AC is not working properly, the this, the that, and it's hot and sticky, sweaty, too many people around me, and okay, fine, I'm doing all this, what's on the head? When's it going to be over? After a little while, when's, okay, Arafat, then what, another 3 days? Staying with, okay, I'll take all of that, then when am I going to come back to my hotel? When am I going to come back to the Arab? When am I going to get back on the flight again and come back home? Because it's, discomfort for them. It's an uncomfortable situation. And I'm telling you one thing, whether it's i'tikaf, whether it's even tabligh, whether it's anything else where people have to go out of their comfort zone, they haven't spiritually prepared for it. When you go into those places, like somebody told me, one of my colleagues said to me, he was in Medina, and he said to me, mashallah, alhamdulillah, he's a person who does some amal, but he wasn't, you have to be on another level to, like, okay, if you're in the Haram of Makkah, you see the Kaaba, right? So, there's another buzz seeing the Kaaba, all the people around there, they're sitting there doing dhikr, looking at the Kaaba. There's a thawab, there's a reward just looking at the Kaaba. There's a reward for that. You get rahmah from Allah just for that. So when you're in Makkah, there's still a buzz. And he came to Medina, and he's there now in Medina for about 8 days or whatever. And in Medina, if you've been to Medina, you see in the masjid, and it's plain. Right? You just got the pillars there, Okay, you've got the road somewhere right in front of you, which people are desperately trying to get inside, but you don't see any scenario like Makkah al-Mukarram. So he texted me from there. He said, what can I do here? I said, Amal. And I said to him, what you want to do there is, I said, do istighfar and do send salawat in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I said, do the dhikr, whatever. And he said, but how do you, like, he said, look, I can do like one juz Quran. I said, look, you want to maximize it. You want to read this much, you read that much. And I said, you could just sit there and you can just recite the durood and the Prophet and you should, enjoy it. And the thing was, look, if a person hasn't prepared for that from long before, they're going to get worn out. Like you do 1 hour there, it's like, that's a lot, man. Sitting in there in front of in the Masjid Nabawi, 1 whole hour, it's a lot. And every day I've got to just come there in a plain masjid. Okay, there's people walking around and I've got to do all this dhikr and this and that. You don't really feel it after a while. What you need to do is look, and I'm telling you right now, the preparation for next Ramadan, it begins tomorrow. You guys understand? If you're serious about it, honestly, you're going to get the best buzz ever if you make your intention now. Preparation for next Ramadan is going to start tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, I literally mean on the day of Eid. Because one thing is that if you don't do your amal even on the day of Eid, okay, the few things I'm going to tell you that you need to get in and get it done. If you don't do it on the day of Eid, then you might miss it the day after Eid. And if you do that, there's a big disaster. Because then you won't be a habit at all. If you make a habit, it's going to be every day. Now, different people here are different stamina. And I'm going to tell you, look, how to build this stamina for the next time you come to a spiritual retreat. Because i'tikaf is a spiritual retreat. Hajj is a spiritual retreat. Umrah is a spiritual retreat. When you go away for a few days and on an Islamic course, whatever it is, it's a spiritual retreat. Those days you're supposed to enjoy. The people who really are in Hajj and they're spiritually prepared for it, they want more days. The people who are in i'tikaf and who did i'tikaf, like they're really into it, they were wishing for a 30th day of Ramadan. It really disheartens them when it's 29 Ramadan and Eid is announced. It disheartens them. They want an extra day. And if you spiritually prepared yourself for it, you enjoy it and you can sit there for hours. And you can just do the dhikr of Allah, you can do the Quran, you can do one after the other. It's not enough. The whole day is going so quickly, it's not enough. I'm not talking about just i'tikaf, I'm talking about the whole of Ramadan. It's not enough for the people who prepare for it. And you're going to say to me, nah, that's quite extreme. I'm saying, but I'm telling you right now, it's not extreme if you slowly do it. So I'm going to ask you, over this 1 year, you're going to spiritually prepare yourself and you're going to take yourself one notch up another notch. Now, how do you do this? At the very basic, okay, brothers, whoever, at the very basic, of course, you're going to have your salahs in place. At the very basic. When I say salahs in place, you put your salahs in place at the best you can to the beginning time. The best buzz you get out of your salah is the beginning time. It's the most rewarding and it's the thing that's going to bring you closest to Allah, is the beginning time. Okay? Shaitan's first trick is to make you delay. He's not going to make you miss it, he's going to make you delayed. If Dhuhr is at 1:30, he'll make you try and delay it till 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. Slowly, delay him on. Do it up, go back. Asr is at 6, 7, whatever, you're alright. So you make you delay. And the next thing is, one day he's going to try and make you miss it. That's his target. He's got his plan. His first plan is, he's going to make you delay something, delay one of your good habits. Second thing is, he's going to try and make you miss it. That's his ultimate. Now, when you've missed it, he knows you're going to have serious regret. And you're going to be like firing back at Shaitan. And he's ready for this. He'll move away. Once you've missed it, he'll allow you to have your regrets, to cry, do your tawbah shabah, do tawbah istighfar, and repent to Allah. He'll allow you. He's going to move because you're going to be like, how did I do that? I missed myself. Then he comes back again and starts again. And his trick is what? What's his first trick? Delay. He'll make you delay Isha till you get too tired. Now, if he hasn't made you miss it, he's going to make you read it in a way that your head's not even in it. You understand? So Isha was at, let's say, for example, 9 o'clock, and he'll make you do Isha at 10:30, 11 o'clock, just before, you're about to go to bed. Your head's not in it. Your head's already wanting to go to sleep. So he's still one. If you do Isha straight at the time, and if you can, of course, the Jama'ah, during the Jama'ah, and then if you could do with the Jama'ah, then, you're very stable. You've got your pillar there. You stuck it inside. Right? And stick with the Jama'ah. Number one priority is, if you can, guys, a lot of you are living just around the corner from here. If you make a firm intention, you know what, every Salah Jama'ah, I'm going to come masjid. So I'm going to do it in the masjid. Now, some of you, look, I'll give you a little trick. Some of you might think, yeah, when I go to the masjid, every time I end up spending more time there. Funa Saab sees you, isn't it? And this Saab sees you, and that guy sees you, and then you end up spending a little more time doing that. And you kind of think, yeah, when I'm doing it at home, I only spend 10 minutes doing it. When I go to the masjid, it ends up being 25 minutes by the time I've gone and come back. I'll give you a little trick. I do this as well. It's a very good trick. You do your sunnah home. You do your sunnah home. And you know what? There's a very big blessing of doing sunnah home. It's from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sunnah to do your sunnah home. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do his sunnah in his house. Why? He even said to us, he said, put some barakah in your house. Like, we come to the masjid, we do full sunnah, we do fard, we do sunnah, and then we go back, right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam thinking is what? Do the fard there, yes, sunnah home, if you can. Now, if you're going to be Mr. Lazy, and shaitan's going to get you halfway before you go to your house, and your wudu's gone, and then he says to you, ya kaun wudu abhi karega, then you do it in the masjid, okay? But if you're ready to save time, this is what you do. You come to the masjid for the fard. Soon as the fard is over, dua is finished, yeah, straight out, go straight home, and do sunnah home. You got the barakah of giving the blessing in your house, but be punctual in doing the sunnah, not like missing it. You got the barakah of doing the sunnah at home, and at the same time you save yourself time with this sahab and that sahab and this person, meeting you, and then you're busy with this. And then you kind of think, well, I spent all that time. Even your wife says, you spend that time, and your kids don't want to come to you. Somewhat. I don't know why did I start this? Because I took my kids to the masjid. I taken my kids to the masjid, and they said, Dad, we don't want to go with you. I said, why? They said, people ask you this question after question, and they have to wait with you. I said, okay, I've got to come up with a plan. So this is the plan I came with. I said, look, we're going to go do the fard and straight back home. So that way you save that, and then they're okay, we've done the fard, we go back home, and then the sunnah is done home, you get the barakah at home. But look, fard, salah, and all that in its place. Next thing, sunnah. We don't want to miss any of the 12 sunnah of the day. You get one palace in Jannah a day for doing those sunnah. I have 2 subhanallah. Yeah, I have 2 subhanallah. That means most of you are like, बहुत बड़ा है वहाँ यार हुरे इन भी तो बहुत ज़्यादा होंगे वहाँ for every hure in you need a palace, isn't it? Or you're going to put all your hure in the one palace. And when they say 72 hure in, it's minimum. अब ये भी समझा कर. What is Sintay? But it's 72, according to some explanations, 72 is the minimum amount of hura'in you're going to get. Everybody say together, Subhanallah. Subhanallah. So you need the palaces. Every day with the 2 rakats of Fajr Sunnah, 4 rakats of Dhuhr Sunnah before the Fard, 2 rakats of Dhuhr Sunnah after the Fard, 2 rakats of Maghrib Sunnah after the Fard, 2 rakats of Isha Sunnah after the Fard, your 12 rakats every day, 1 palace in Jannah according to a hadith of Tirmidhi. So that's going to be in place. There's no compromising. Okay, next, what are you going to do? Now I'm going to give you the notches up, alright? Every person needs to do something morning and evening the du'as. Now I've given a whole, in the series, if you look maybe about 3 days back, I talked about morning and evenings, those things that you read. right? And these are for your protection. Protection for yourself, your family, your house, your wealth, your health, protection from jinns, right? All these, you need to do this. Now, whether you choose 1 minute to 5 minutes, you choose whatever you want, but those things after Fajr, after Maghrib, they stay like a pillar. They're stuck inside. There's one other thing very important you need to do, which is this. You've got to choose one place in your house where when you sit in that place on your musalla, the whole family knows not to disturb you. Both are real. It's very important. Otherwise, you're going to get messed around. Right? The one place in your house, so maybe you pray salah here, you pray salah there, you pray salah, fine. But this one place, when dad sits in that one place, when my brother sits in that one place, when my husband sits in that one place in the house, it could be your bedroom, it could be whatever it is, okay? It's a place where it's quiet usually. It's a place where usually you don't get disturbed. But even if people come, when you're sitting on that musalla facing the Qibla, no one's going to disturb you. Even the kids in the house know they can come. They can come and jump on you. They can do whatever they want on you. But you just do your thing. Now the whole house will get used to you. In that moment, they won't bother you. Choose your time. This is where you've got to choose your time. Best is, the number one best is that you get everything done in the morning. All your readings, everything in the morning. The earlier you get it done, you don't have to worry about the rest of the day. And I'll tell you one massive, really good thing about this. Early in the morning, if after Fajr, or early in the morning before work, you can spend that time, you know what? You feel so good inside. You got tranquility inside you. It's like the first thing I did was, I talked to my Allah. The first thing I did is, I read these things, I read my Quran, I did my dhikr, the few things I wanted to put together. Early in the morning, get it done. And I'll tell you another beautiful thing of this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a hadith, he said, Man khafa adlaja, wa man adlaja balagha al-manzil. Ala inna sil'at Allahi ghaliya, ala inna sil'at Allahi jannah. He said, whoever has fear that I might not reach my destination in time, then that person always leaves early. And whoever leaves early reaches their destination in time. Whoever leaves early reaches their destination in time. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, remember, the bargain of Allah is not a cheap bargain. It's a very expensive bargain. And the bargain of Allah is Jannah. Jannah is not cheap. Right? So now let's look at this hadith. He said, whoever fears, they leave early. So let's say, for example, you gotta go to Manchester Airport, you gotta catch a flight. You gotta go from PIA, you gotta go all the way to Pakistan. Right? So the thing is, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna say, okay, fine, the flight's at 10 p.m. You're not gonna be leaving your house at 7 p.m. or whatever, or let's say 8 p.m. You're not gonna do that. What do you take in consideration? There might be traffic. There might be a motorway jam. There might be other things that come. And even then, if I get to the airport on time, there might be there might be too many people there. I need to go through all the security, the checks, all that. So people add extra time. They might leave at 6 o'clock. They might leave at 6:30, whatever. Making sure they get there on time. Right? And even then, 3 hours before the flight, 2 hours before the flight, at least people get there. Why do people do that? Because you might miss the flight. Now, the same thing with my everyday look. My everyday, I've got to be prepared. There's that one thing that you've got to know. Look, your enemy is preparing and you've got to prepare. Look, Shaitan is not really going to be released. Okay? Shaitan and all these guys, they've been hungry for 1 month, guys. It's tomorrow as well. They've got a big feast coming along. The iftar is going to be a big iftar. And that's why the thing is that, that's why you see so many Muslims, they lose it on Eid day. Why? Because these hungry wolves are coming out and devouring them like anything. May Allah protect us, say Ameen. So the thing is, look, don't be scared. Shaitan makes his preparation and I'm going to make my preparation. And my preparation starts every morning, early in the morning. Now if you can get up for tahajjud, it's nurun ala nur. Then you've really got it. And after tahajjud you start your things, and then you do your fajr, do a little bit more, if you have to go to sleep after that, you go to sleep. But early morning is your target to do everything. Because if you get it early morning,
the rest of the day, shaitan can't play the delay tactics with you. If you don't do it in the morning, shaitan's got you. What's it going to do? Let's say, for example, one morning you missed it. Then, then you got to work. Now I've got to work. Or then you got these errands. You got to go to shop. You got to go to this. You got to do this. You got to do that. Then it's like, okay, I'll do it later on. I'll do it like 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock comes, you don't get to do all of it, okay? Then, okay, I'll do it after Asr. Shaitan's got you. Because by the time Asr comes, some other people come, some Nahman came, some this happened, that happened, then you missed it. That's his target. His target is delay. So before any delays can come, I'm going to do it early in the morning. So my first thing to all of you guys is, please, morning time, you're going to now have at least the first stamina I'm going to say is that, look, if you can do 15 minutes, guys, 15 minutes. Now what's 15 minutes? Let me tell you what 15 minutes is. 15 minutes is a couple of YouTube videos. Okay? 15 minutes is a few scrolls on Instagram. 15 minutes is nothing compared to when you're on WhatsApp and you're trying to, communicate here, there. 15 minutes is goes like that. The big shaitan waswasa is, look how long you spent in your ibadah. This is a big waswasa of shaitan. Even, when the Imam Sahib, he does his salah. People are like looking at, today is 8 minutes for the salah. Another day, he spends 10 minutes. 10 minutes laga Imam Sahib must be on benefits, huh? Yeah, spends 10 minutes. Now people look at this and people like 2 minutes. I remember once I took 2 minutes over in the salah that I left for Isha. And then there was, one Arab brother, he stood from the back. And he goes, "Ma Tarawih." Tarawih. I said, Ya Allah. Now I took 2 minutes extra, because normally they finish the Isha in 10 minutes. I took 12 minutes. About 2 minutes. So then I stood up, I said, look, brothers, because the World Cup was going on at the time. I said, brother, let's be a bit, I said, you're thinking like too much time, right? I said, look, when the World Cup is on, and let's say Algeria playing Morocco, because they were Arabs, Algerians and Morocco. I said, look, Algeria playing Morocco. I said, you guys sit there, you sit there beforehand. So when the warm-up is happening, there's 30 minutes warm-up about who's going to play which position, you sit forward. Then you sit for the first 45 minutes. Then there's a 15-minute break. You wait for that. Then there's another 45 minutes. You sit through all of that with enthusiasm. Then I said, okay, fine, you prepared 1.5 hour match, yeah? You prepared for that. I said, then after that, it's 0-0. The goal, nobody scored. So they're going to give extra time. Yeah? 15 minutes each way. You sit for that. And then they might have another, sometimes they have this golden goal thing, right? Whoever scores first goal is going to win. Then you sat for that. Then you sat after that for the penalty shooting. And the whole warming up, penalty shooting, each guy going up to... I said, listen guys, you just spent over 2 hours in this whole thing, yeah? No complaints. Nobody ever said, nobody ever said, golden goal time. Nobody said, penalty shooting. Nobody said that. Why is it when the Imam takes a little bit extra that you have to know? This is what shaitan does, which is, if you spend a little bit extra, the shaitan keeps on making you think about the clock, about the watch, right? How long to spend. Now the thing that you got to do is this. You can't look at the clock and the watch. You're going to say to yourself, I've got this much to read, I'm going to read that, then I'll look at the... Unless, of course, you've got work coming up, that's different. But if you're just sitting down, do yourself a favor and say to yourself that, look, I'm more concerned about getting this finished. So let's say, for example, your 15, what is your 15 minutes going to be in? So this is the first level, okay? You might do, let's say, 4 juz of the Quran. You're going to have some Quran in there, some zikr in there, and right in the end, a bit of dua. And I'm going to give you 1 minute at least of thought and reflection. This is a very big chapter in the Quran. يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. You have the tafakkur and the thought. So this is what you do, okay? You sit down, right, these are your 15 minutes. You sit on the musalla early in the morning or whenever it is, okay, family knows not to disturb you. And what you do is this. You straight away, you start with the fikr, the tafakkur, the thought process. This is a very important part of it. So this is where you think about, you take everything out of your mind and you think, look, I'm standing in front of Allah. Straight away, I'm standing in front of Allah. 2 minutes. Right? 2 minutes of saying, I'm standing in front of Allah. And Allah is going to ask me a question. And bring that question up. Bring the sin that you committed recently. Small sin, whatever, bring that sin. Allah's going to ask me, why did you do that? What am I going to say to Allah? Face it, because it's a reality coming. Or in those 2 minutes you think, Maut, death, has entered this room right now. For some people that. If I said to you right now, death is standing inside this masjid. If you're feeling a little bit scared, you're a little bit scared, that means that your attachment to the dunya is more than it should be. Straight. That's a very good tester to see how much of my heart is attached to dunya. Or it means I've done some sins, and I'm doing those sins, and I haven't fully done tawbah from them. Are you guys with me? If a person hasn't got their heart attached to the dunya so much, and if a person is not doing regular sins, and they've done, if a person has done full tawbah from all the sins, that person shouldn't be fearful of death. For that person, death is a very good step, because as soon as death comes, I'm going to get rid of all this world. Then I go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I go to the one I've been close to, right? And then inshallah I will reward. That's how a believer should feel. If you're not feeling like that, that means there's work to do. Are you guys with me? Yes or no?
Yes.
If you don't feel like that, then it's kuch masla hai. Gotta go ahead. Either I love my house too much, my children too much, my wife too much, my khandan, my work or something, or I have money too much, or I want to stay here longer. Why do you want to stay here longer? Why do you want to stay here longer? It's a question. If I want to stay here longer, what for? It's because of these things. If you take away, let's say for example, just one moment, minus your whole family from your head. Imagine your family that exists. Minus your house. Minus the love of whatever you got, wealth, bank, this, that, job, security, whatever you got. Minus all of that. What's the point of staying here? Who would want to stay here? So these things are attached to this. Now I'm not saying that you give up these loves. No. I'm saying this. Please don't get me wrong. Some people take it to an extreme. Some people say, I'm not going to love my children anymore. No one's telling you to do that. What we're saying is this, that you make the love of Allah, the love of the Akhirah, the love of Rasulullah so great that all this love looks like nothing. So you still love your children, you love your wife, you love your neighborhood, you love your people, you love your masjid people, you love all of this, fine. But the love of Allah becomes so great that this love is nothing. I'm ready to give up all this love for Allah's love. Are you guys with me? That's what we're asking. So anyway, you think 2 minutes, your focus is, I'm standing in front of death, or death is in this room, and death could take me any moment. After these 15 minutes, death is going to take me. Now make that a belief. I said, either that, or I'm standing in front of Allah, 2 minutes. Either that or this. Or you think, I'm in my grave. One of these three. Bring it up in your mind and be there. Take your whole mind. I am in my grave. And right now, nobody's with me. It's going to be my amal, my actions. Either snakes are going to come inside here, or the doors of Jannah are going to open and the fragrance of paradise is going to come to me. One of the two. Think this is it. Once you've done those 2 minutes of thought, right, then you start with some dhikr. Whatever dhikr you want to do. Now, after Fajr, we've been doing a number of dhikrs. You could do any of those dhikrs. Okay? Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayhi, seeking forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Sallallahu ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sallam, sending salutations from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, saying subhanallah wa bihamdihi subhanallah al-azim. But do remember, the mind has to be connected to Allah to make that change happen inside. So if your tongue is just busy, you get the reward, but you don't have a cleanliness inside. But if your mind can think that Allah is watching me, I'm saying these words to Allah, and please go over the meanings of what you say. Know what the meaning of subhanallah is. Know what the meaning of alhamdulillah is. They're all praise to Allah. Know the meaning of la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar. All of this is available for you at the touch of a button on the internet. Just put in there, what's the meaning of subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Many pages will come up and they'll give you the benefits, the virtues, the meanings, all of that is on the internet. So it's just there. And the thing I want to say to you is this: don't just make it like astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, after a while you're going to just repeat these words And that's it. It's not going to make any sensation. You want to put your own, you're going to find your own way of connecting with Allah through sensation. Astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa hu al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayhi wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa hu الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. That's like a person who's coming as a beggar to Allah, as a person who wants to show his love to Allah, as a person who wants to really connect with Allah. It's like, look, I'm really seeking forgiveness from you, from the one and only Allah. He is the Hayy, He is the ever-living, He is the one that's keeping everything going, my whole life going, and I return back to Him, and there is no power, nothing to rescue me from, from doing sins, or nothing to give me the power to do good deeds, except for Allah. The one who is the most high, the one who is the most great. And you say this with passion and desire. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم صلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه. And each one of you, Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. Oh. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Whichever way, tasbih you want to do, put some rhythm, put some effort in making your own tune, okay? And then call Allah Azza wa Jalla in those few minutes. Now, few minutes want to do that, and then few minutes Quran. And right at the end, you don't have to do a lengthy dua, but right at the end, there's a difference between dua and munajat. Okay? There's a difference between dua and munajat. Dua is, look, I'm just asking Allah, to give this. Munajat is I'm having my secret conversation with Allah. Munajat is totally different. If you want to understand the difference between dua and munajat, dua is when we ask Allah give me this, Allah give me that, Allah give me that, alright? And munajat is when you're talking to Allah. You're going to say to me, are we cracked in the head that we're going to talk to Allah? Well, I'll tell you one place to go to. Look at Surah Nur. Surah Nur, Surah number 71. There's a massive munajat there. There's a munajat there of Nuh alayhi salam to Allah. About 80% of that surah is one long munajat. And Nuh alayhi salam is talking to Allah the way me and you would talk to a friend. Like something happened at work. You come end of the day, either to your wife or to someone close to you, right? Friend, you say, man, can you believe it, man? Can you believe it? I was working here, and then they say to come down, and they say to me that my work wasn't done. I did my work. And I submitted, and then after that they start telling me, I can't take my tea break, or like things like that, right? You talk to a friend like, what did Nuh alayhi salam say to Allah? He said to Allah, he said, my Lord, I call my people by night and by day. He said, they didn't increase except in running away from me. Every time I called them, he's saying this to Allah. They put their fingers into their ears so that they couldn't listen to me. وَاسْتَغْشَوْا ثِيَابَهُمْ. They covered their faces with their cloths, their own clothes. وَأَصَرُّوا وَاسْتَكْبَرُوا اسْتِكْبَارًا. Then they became very arrogant, and they were very stubborn, and they became very arrogant. ثُمَّ إِنِّي دَعَوْتُهُمْ جِهَارًا. Then Allah, this is him, munajat with Allah. Then Allah, this is him talking to Allah. Allah knows everything, but he's saying it to Allah. Like me and you would say to your friend. Then I called them by day. وَأَعْلَنْتُ لَهُمْ وَأَسْرَرْتُ لَهُمْ إِسْرَارًا. Then I called them secretly, privately. I gave them da'wah. فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ. And I said to them, this is him talking to Allah. Imagine this, talking to Allah saying this. I said to them that seek forgiveness from your Lord. He will give you back your children. He will give you wealth. فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ. And I said to them what? I said to them, look at the sun. Look at Allah's created you, the moon. Look how Allah created. He's saying this to Allah. Then he says this. Look at this part. It's really baffling. Allah kept these words in the Quran for a reason. You know what he said? قال نوح رب إنهم عصوني واتبعوا من لم يزده ماله وولده إلا خسارة. Oh Allah, I called them, but you know what? They told one another never to let go of their ways. They told their children, you must stay on their religion, stay on this religion. وقالوا لا تذرن ودا ولا سواعا ولا يغوث ولا يعوق ونسرا. He said, oh Allah, imagine this, he's saying to Allah, I get a hold of this. Subhanallah, he said this, he said what? Oh Allah, they said to one another not to leave the God of Wad, not to leave the God of Yaghuth, not to leave the God of Yaghuth, Ya'uq, Nasra. He's taken the false God's names to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Why? Because this is a dukh. This is a pain. Oh Allah, they said this to one another. Not that he believes in the false God, na'udhu billah. Not that he's acknowledging it. Subhanallah, Allah revealed that in the Quran and He told us, وَدًّا وَنَسْوَاعًا يَغُوثَ يَعُوقَ نَصْرًا. We read this in Quran. Why? Allah saying, look, you want to go and you want to talk to every Tom, Dick and Harry about your problems? Sit down and talk to me. This is munajat. Munajat is, oh Allah, I didn't want to sin like that, but you know, Allah, I got temptation overtook me. I don't know how it happened. Allah, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry I did that. You know, I went ahead and I really wasn't going to do that, but I went ahead and then all of a sudden my friends in the parliament, and then I went to my friends and I felt pressurized. I know I shouldn't do that, Allah, but I got pressurized. And then I ended up taking those drugs. Or talk to Allah about this. It's you and Allah, there's nobody else. Because you know what's going to happen? Inside your heart, your heart's going to break. Soon you'll have tears rolling down your eyes when you talk to Allah and tell Him how you got taken, how shaitan took you and said, oh Allah, please, I don't want to do this again. But I don't know how to stop myself. I want you to help me. Can you please help me? I don't want to go back there again. I talk to Allah, be honest with what you say. Even if it happens the second time, the third time, say to Allah, because it's going to make you regret this. It's going to make you feel so bad inside that, you know what? After talking to Allah, and guess what? With your munajat, Allah Azza wa Jalla will give you a reply. After this munajat, straight away Allah said to Muhammad alayhi salam, don't worry, I'm going to deal with these people. This is how I'm going to deal with them. But my friends, look, every day, first is thought, either in front of death, grave, or the day of judgment, okay? In front of Allah. Then your dhikr, with tune, with your passion. Then Quran, then munajat. Whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you can. Munajat. Done, 15 minutes done. Now guys, now you move the notches up. Notches up is very simple. Yesterday, a few days ago, okay, you got used to 2 minutes, thought of in front of death, thought in the grave, thought, that was 2 minutes. Today you're going to do 3 minutes or 4 minutes of that. Yesterday you did dhikr maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. Today you're going to increase it to 7, 8, 9 minutes. Yesterday you did Quran 4 minutes. Today you're going to increase it to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Yesterday you did your munajat for 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Today you're going to do your munajat, because once you get into munajat, there's a lot to talk to Allah about. Tell me, is there not a lot to talk to Allah? You know, when you go to munajat, dua is okay. I'm going to do this Rabbana dua, that Rabbana dua. I think I forgot that Rabbana dua. How do I do that Rabbana dua again? That's dua. Okay, you might remember some, you might not remember some, fine. You're going to ask Allah, give me this good. Munajat is you spending one-to-one with Allah. You talk about your life, you talk about what's going on, and then you say to him, Allah, talk to him and say, Allah, please give me this, please, please. Allah loves you. In fact, you know what? Rasulullah said, if you can't cry, then pretend to cry. It's a hadith. Fatabaka. So if you can't really get your tears out, just make your face in a way as if you're crying. And put your hands up and please, please, as if you're crying. Allah loves that. Allah loves that too. So in your munajat, you're going to include that. Now, every day or every lesson, you're not going to increase every day. You might increase it after a few weeks. After a couple of weeks, but whatever you increase, my friends, that becomes your daily routine. Don't go below that. So if you had, after let's say 3-4 months, you're now doing half an hour every morning. And this half an hour, guys, the one thing you got to make an absolute intention of is that I'm never going to miss that half an hour or that 15 minutes. I'm never going to miss that. I don't care what happens. I don't care if something comes in the way. I don't care what. I'm going to do that half an hour that day. Even if I got busy, I got too tired one morning, I missed it, I'm going to make sure I do it by the time I come back from work. I want to make sure I do it by Asr time or something. Never miss it. This is one thing you make. Look, there's a difference between intention and azm. The prophets did azm. Intention is I'm going to do this. That's intention. Azm is I don't care. It's going to happen. Shall I give you an example of azm? Give you an example of azm. People's work time. That's azm. You know, if the boss is waiting for you 9 o'clock in the morning and he's going to be looking at that clock, if it's 9 or 9:01, and you're in trouble if it's 9:01, people make the azm. I'm going to be at work on time. So you know what people do? People pack their bags the night before. They get the clothes ready, ironed it the night before. In the morning, let's say for example, in the morning, normally he gets up, he has a shower, he has breakfast, does all that, and he gets his car keys, he goes to the car, and then drives to work. In the morning, if you ever woke up, no shower, no breakfast, and it's going to be traffic time, what's he going to do? He's going to run outside. His azm is, it's happening. I'm getting there 9 o'clock, I don't care what. Shall I give you another example of it's happening, no matter what? It's happening. Airport. When you got flight to catch, it's azm, it's that I'm getting on that plane on time. People do for trains. That train's leaving at 8 o'clock. I have to be there before that. People get to the platform beforehand. It's happening. Whether you run, whatever you do, you get there on time. That's azm. Intention is, inshallah. Inshallah. Whether it happens or doesn't happen, inshallah. I don't want you to do inshallah, like empty inshallah. Okay, inshallah, yes, but a real inshallah. If you look at the inshallahs of the Quran, they're all very serious inshallah. Yeah? When Ismail alayhi salam said to his father, he said, do the zabah. He said, go. He said, insha'Allah min as-sabr. He said, you will definitely find me from those, if Allah wills, from those who do sabr. That wasn't a inshallah. He put his head back. He even told his father to blindfold himself. He blindfolded himself, told his father to blindfold himself. He said, go, do it. That was a serious inshallah, can you imagine? That was a serious inshallah. Then there was another inshallah of Musa alayhi salam. He had a good intention, very good intention, but Qaddar Allah, he couldn't keep up with it when he went to Khidr. When he said, inshallah, I won't speak. But when he saw those things, he couldn't, because his Sharia, the Sharia of Musa said you can't kill somebody without a, he had to speak because Musa wasn't the Sharia. Khidr wasn't on any Sharia. He was on the ghaibi, and Allah's telling him direct, just do this. So he just killed a young, I said, how did you just kill this? Okay, then he said, I forgot. But he had a serious intention still. And the other one, inshallah, was when Allah told Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he said, I'm going to tell you about, they asked me a question, so I'll tell you tomorrow. But he forgot to say inshallah. So Allah wants to teach him a lesson. And that lesson is for all of us, to teach all of us a lesson. So 15 days there was no wahi. There was no revelation. And then in the end, Allah gave him revelation after 15 days and he said, وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا إِنَّ شَاءَ اللَّهِ. Never say I'm going to do something tomorrow except you're going to say inshallah. That's the one for Allah to make us feel like, look, we're not in control of our life, only Allah can do this whole thing. One more, inshallah, Musa alayhi salam, when his father-in-law said, you can take one of, no, you can marry one of my daughters, whichever one you want, you have to give me 8 years of work. He said 10 years, if not, at least 8 years. He said, Satajiduni insha'Allah min as-salihin. Inshallah, you're going to find me as a pious person. And he stayed pious for 10 years, he worked there, and then after that, he left with his wife. So all these insha'Allahs are very serious, inshallah. Inshallah. No. Azam, okay, inshallah. 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 Now, I'm done with my thing. What I'm going to say to you is, guys, look, tomorrow morning, I know it's Eid. Please spend your few moments in the morning doing whatever you have to do, and then the rest of the day, enjoy the day. The day after Eid, every day, you've got this time, fix it right now. And in the morning, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with something that you can take. Slowly increase it as the year goes by. And I'm telling you, bi'idhnillah, when next Ramadan comes, you guys are going to be ready. You're going to be ready for the hours. By that time, you probably have taken to 1 hour, 2 hours. Every day you do 1 or 2 hours of this. When Ramadan comes, I'm telling you, you'll be ready for more than 2 hours because you've been practicing throughout the year. And if every day you can, remember to make a little dua for me, I'll be very happy. If not, no problem. Jazakumullah khair, guys. Any questions on this about what I just said? Any questions anyone's got?
Just a request, just to do a dua for this series.
Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. I think the session got quite long today. So any questions anyone's got?
So is this before?
On this,
Is this before Fajr or after Fajr?
That's up to you. If you wake up for tahajjud, then you start after tahajjud, you start with Fajr. If you don't wake up for tahajjud, then it's at least start after Fajr. Okay? After Fajr, you can start whatever you can after Fajr. And those of you who can, obviously, you're going to add the nafil salahs. These are extra things you can do later on. Like, you can add your ishraq salah, you can add your salatul duha, you can add extra nawafil salah during the day. And those of you who want to go beyond this, right? I tell you one wonderful thing you can do. That half an hour in the morning or 15 minutes in the morning stays there, right? One wonderful thing you can do is do dhikr of Allah in all the dead times that we have. When I say dead time, like you're walking from the masjid to the house. You're basically ironing the clothes. It's a dead time. You're just ironing the clothes. You can do some dhikr at that time. You're preparing for a meal or whatever it is, you're cooking or whatever you're doing. It's a time where you can do something else, right? Some people can do dhikr at that time. Some people, they get too, it's too much for them. At least you can leave some kind of Islamic lecture in the background. At least that's a good. But if you can't, do this for me. In all these moments, just do tasbih. One of the easiest ones is La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah, you don't have to move the lips. Nobody knows that you're doing the dhikr. Nobody knows. Right? I used to La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. Or you do, you can do it inside, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. You don't have to move the lips. Just do it now. Close it, seal your lips and just do Ya Allah, Ya Allah. There's some people who La ilaha illallah, after a while will find it heavy. It's a heavy type of dhikr. So if you find it's heavy, then just Ya Allah. It's another dhikr. It's just remembering Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. So you're always connected with Allah. Now if you're in a place where you can move your lips, and of course, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allah Akbar, any of the dhikrs you can do in your dead times. And that way you've got extra on top. And if you keep your tongue busy with dhikr, shaitan finds it very difficult to come to you. Shaitan finds it very difficult to come and take you astray. May Allah will protect all of us. Allah will give us tawfiq. And make dua for you guys. It's almost going to be Maghrib, but I've got a bit of Quran to read as well. There's no further questions. May Allah bless us and may Allah accept these from us. May He accept our i'tikaf, those of you who are in i'tikaf. May Allah accept all of you from this masjid. Very lovely people, mashallah. Very, very lovely. Very heartfelt, You've got a lot of mehmani inside you. Being a mezban, being people who look after the guests. In London, we don't get that.
It's on record now, alhamdulillah.
Message to you guys, we like the Northerners in this aspect. It's been a lovely
Shukriya. Thank you very much for your time and effort you've done all of us. And I hope that you come again.
Which inshallah, which inshallah.
Inshallah, make it out. Make it out. Look, I came here because of my Ustad Muhammad Ibrahim.
Yes.
Honestly, his du'as are here. And his ruhani shade is on this masjid. I'm telling you this now. His ruhani shade is on this masjid. What I mean by that is that because of his efforts, there's a mahol here, there's an environment here of people wanting to get close to Allah. Yeah, Hazrat, his asr. There's many masjids you can go to. But finding this many people who all have something that, they're looking for a way to get closer to Allah and closer to Allah. They're looking for another, I see these people around in this masjid. And that's from Hazrat Asr. And not only that, but the fact that you guys are very lucky. Hazrat's du'as are going to be in this masjid for a long time to come. His du'as for this masjid, for the people of the masjid, for the people of this locality, is going to be for time to come. And even now his du'as are here. Okay, so that's one big reason why I came here. I think what Allah said, basically, muhabbat with you guys, and I love you guys for the sake of Allah, inshallah. So whenever Allah wants, I'll come back. But in between that, we'll have good connection.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.